Woohoo!
And we're live.
Live on the Twitchies.
And the tweet went out at the right time too, so good times.
Yay!
Hello, everyone. We're getting ready to do a thing. Yes. I know. I'm surprised too. I was just like sitting around, like, oh man, we better do a show since we're all here. What's going on, everybody? We're getting ready for another weekly Daily Wednesdays, and hopefully all the tweets and stuff will be going out. I don't think mine goes out for like another 9 minutes because I like to play games sometimes, where I try to balance it out with the bot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Guess how long the bot's gonna take.
And see if I can get the two to come together. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about meme distributions and why you should use them. We got a new kernel version, 5.15. I got some happy news to report from brothers and sisters who like to play around with good audio interfaces. EGL on Firefox and why you should cut it on because it's amazing. And Raspberry Pi 02W.
And Jeff Gerling's already put it in a thing that plays video games, so...
Was that not to be expected?
I'm just surprised it was like, oh, it's been a week. Huh.
Alright.
Well, I guess a week and a half. It came out a bit before.
Well, I found a place that was kind of intelligent. They had this brilliant, unique idea. They were selling the Raspberry Pi 0W2. This groundbreaking innovation. On the cart, it said limit 1. Lo and behold, they were in stock.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
I looked a few places too.
Because the scalpers will create bots to create accounts.
Oh, yeah.
For the big websites, but the small ones not so much.
Yeah.
Well, Ada was immediately out. Mine will... Well, no, I think USPS is already delivered, so it'll be tomorrow. Mine will be here.
Yeah.
I've got things planned.
Nice.
And I think I'll even be playing around with some game stuff on it, too. We'll see what it can do on top of everything else.
Apparently, PlayStation and N64 and PSP is a bit iffy. Some games work, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
But everything below that's fine.
But
Hi, Brother Jellybean.
2D. What about N64?
Hi, Art Theron.
Jeff Gerling, he was playing
Hi, Sandman.
the jet ski game. Don't
Aw,
remember the name.
You're a beautiful
But that
person
one
too,
was-
Altamore. Sandman.
That one was, it wasn't running terribly well. Though Super Mario 64 was fine. Had some drops here and there, but it was perfectly playable.
That's what I look for in my emulation. Drops.
I guess when you're playing a game that used to be a big fat chunk of plastic that went under your TV, and a teeny tiny little chunk of plastic that's half of a credit card in size, that's okay. That's fine.
Oh, nah. I'm good. But I'll play around with it. I don't know. I have a project for my Raspberry Pi. Well, I got 2 projects. I want to see if I can make it do something that my other one couldn't with that extra horsepower. And the other thing, I'm just going to do it because it's going to be funny. Overkill funny.
Okay.
And the main project requires 3D printing and all that fun stuff, so we'll see. I got to break out CAD. I got to do maths. Got to reticulate splines.
I got an
Jelly
email
Bean,
from
that's
the
happened to
3D
me.
printing people to say that they're printing my stuff now, so maybe it'll be here by this time next week.
What are you having printed?
That shroud that adapts to 12 120 mil by 25 mil fans into a GPU cooler.
So like duct tape?
That major hardware put the thing.
Hi, Steve has been. Yeah, my brother was complaining about the Twitch security codes being late. That happened to me on a couple devices. It was like, 10 minutes later. You're like, oh God, where's that code?
You want to see a code take forever? The Dell Premiere portal. Log in and then wait for as long as you want. It will not come.
Yeah.
You need to click the resend code and then you get 2 emails immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
My favorite one is Humble, because the security code on Humble gives you all indications that you are waiting on the code. Well, the page clearly says at the bottom, click here and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, right there, and the clock did change. I was wondering why you weren't here right at the beginning. But next week we'll be in sync. Next Sunday.
I don't know. We can just start an hour late next week and mess with people. There we go.
Hello, everyone. Sandy, Steve, Jack, and Arthurian. Who else is with us?
Do.
And Strider. There you go.
Matthew.
So we got all that, and let's see. We'll give it about another 10 minutes and we'll get into it. I'm just
Okay.
playing around
I
with some
will.
things.
Go take care of business
Ah,
right
there's
now,
a lurking
early.
mirror.
Hi, Mir.
Well, some of us need some exercise, so.
You get exercise? What, accidentally? What? Oh, you got to walk into work every now
No,
and then.
Strider.
Oh.
Strider was suggesting we spend the next solid 5 minutes waving at each other. That's about as close to exercise as I get.
Nah. You don't realize, like, what was I doing? I was mounting some wall hardware, and it was above my head, and I was having to hold my arm up and use a screwdriver. You get about 10, 15 seconds into that, and you're like, wow, those are muscles that are never used.
Yep.
Then you're taking your arm down, like,
At least not with that lack of blood. It's like, okay.
I didn't want to get feet prints on the ceiling, man. Those are hard to get off. Squats. That is that. What else do we have?
Yeah, I too spent about 2 hours a day trying to figure out why Windows 10 would just straight up not connect to the VPN on someone's machine. And I did everything except, swapping their laptop out for one that I know for a fact works.
You can take the Apple method, pick it up back.
That may need to happen because I have no idea. It's like the laptop can see the VPN server. If you just ping it, it finds it just fine. It's just when it's actually trying to set up the connection that it claims, no, I can't see the server. Why?
It's a mystery
I
for the
spent a good
ages, man.
time reading on Rasdial, which is Windows VPN connection manager thingy. And it probably is DNS, but I honestly couldn't find the issue. Because again, it was resolving the address just fine. And you could ping it and it would get all of the packets. Like, what? But yeah, no, it's still broken, so I told him, yeah, tomorrow I'll continue.
So that's fine. I'm getting out of work, man.
It was his time to leave work too, and he didn't really need the VPN. It's just more of a, in case someone else in his team is gone and he needs to do some stuff that do require the VPN. Because he hadn't even tried to connect in ages. So, Tried reboots, tried using other VPN software, tried disabling RASDial and disabling the virtual Ethernet connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I do have to give Pedro some credit. Pedro was the only one in Discord who successfully diagnosed this.
I see a power supply and a fan not in the power supply. Oh, okay. Started to rattle that in.
No, that's not it started to rattle. It started to rattle, and after several applications of kinetic therapy.
The old
Whack.
tap.
Yeah, tap. Tap, tap, tap. First you're like, wham. Fine. So, naturally, I had to pull the power supply out and think, how do we want to go about this? Had to think about it. Had to give it a think. I wasn't sure. So, well, let's take a look. Fan part number. Aha! Promising. The fan costs more than a replacement power supply.
Yes. Is it a 60 mil 12 volt fan, as they often are?
It's normally I would hack something up, but it's it's a pre-built, HP pre-built, like any pre-built, and it's got 4 pins on the power supply fan.
Ooh.
So I'm like,
PWM.
yeah, it's got PWM on. I'm like, you know what? This fan, okay, now admittedly I could get a replacement fan from China in 6 to 8 weeks for like $8, or I could get one that's already been shipped over here, but it was going to be like $18-20 for the replacement fan. Then, I went digging around. I had to pull the power supply out because I couldn't get a clear idea of like how many plugs, and it's HP, so they've used this power supply across everything. I'm looking like 240 watts to find the plugs. And I found a place in Florida that has mountains of them. They're like, yeah, give us $12, we'll send you one.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Although I did like Arthur's suggestions. If it was a heavy use box, yeah, no. Knock to a fan.
It's a box that gets cut on for about an hour a week.
Yes.
But it did make me, I think I'll have some time, maybe Friday. I'm going to pull the power supplies out of, we'll pull the part numbers. Hopefully I don't have to pull them out. I'm sure I will, Del. I'm sure they, all the markings will be on this side where I have to pull it out to read it. And order some spare power supplies for these Dells just to have them in the parts room so I can.
Good idea.
That's the one thing that Dell does well. Power supplies.
Power supplies are awesome.
I kind of want to do a video on this HP 600, how that comes out. They simplified it to the point where it was defeating me.
There's no way that's this simple. Oh.
It was like, well, how does clearly some clips it? No, you just pull the whole cage up. It's like ratcheted. I'm like, It came out, and yeah, I think it's on my front porch. Somebody wants to yoink a power supply for like a 13-year-old desktop. Go for it, kids. It's all yours. I'll order another one. They have more. Caprod? I don't know. Are you collecting them? That's the real, but yeah, that's the heart of the story here, man.
I guess I don't know about the really, really old Dell power supplies, but I can tell you the power supplies that they've released in the past 6 years, pretty good.
Yeah.
Even the
I haven't
laptop
had one
ones.
die on me.
Yeah. Their laptops will go bad before the power supplies do.
Yeah.
But one thing I'll say about the HP power supply is like, you couldn't have made that more proprietary if you tried.
Oh, yeah, they are. That's annoying. I've got a couple of there. I've got backups of my HP machine power supplies because of that reason, because they are proprietary, like odd shaped. Like they sometimes have steps in them.
Now you're talking about the shapes. I'm talking about the motherboard plugs.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Dell power supplies. Get yourself one of these. These are 90 watts. They'll last years.
You know that thing's going to
This
die.
one is-
You know it's going to die before this weekend, right?
I mean, I did buy it secondhand, and the 2013. So
Okay.
still doing pretty good.
Yeah, Vin, I have one of my HP power supplies from one of my servers. It literally looks like a stairway. It's got 3 steps in it like that. It's so funny, funky.
You run into a bunch of stuff like that. But, you know, ultimately,
Yeah.
like all these boxes down here were under $200. So
Yeah.
I understand I should have got another Dell instead of the HP, but these are highly modified Dells.
Yeah.
And I still haven't been able to find anyone from the office across the road from the office where I work. They have a bunch of ThinkStations just lined up on the desks.
Mm-hmm.
No one's using them. They're not plugged into anything. They're just sitting there. And I already went to the reception. Security person's like, is anyone from that office in today? No. Damn it.
Flash a badge, just let them wave you through. Bring your cart with you. Won't ask any questions.
If it was for the building next door, I actually have a pass that lets me in. Because I've been to that other building and I have the pass that lets me into all the BP stuffs.
You got to just dial up that social engineering a notch. You need to stand out there with a pass and wave and be like, what's up? Then you get buzzed in.
All these computers you're not using that we could use. Is that office,
Yeah, no.
do you know, Pedro, has there been anyone in there since the pandemic? In that
That's the
particular
thing.
office?
I don't think anyone's been in there because they stacked those up shortly after the pandemic started. That's when they started to pile those on the desks, and now they're just there.
They're saving them, man.
Yep.
I don't know. Let's see. That's looking good. That's coming in. All right. I think I'll get a refill and we'll hop into it.
Okay.
Y2K2. The YK
That's in
and
2038. We got time.
Yeah. That's another one coming up for a while.
And it was interesting because Linus, the one that's pinning you a picture in Ven's poster there, he was worried about the 32-bit int where the amount of seconds since whenever the Unix standard started counting the seconds, it was going to run out. It was just going to run out in 2038. And then you had some people that got banned for life on Steam. But if you looked at the actual date, it would say around February 2038. It's like, oh, we know that Valve has the same issue that the Linux kernel did.
Yeah. I remember testing that years ago on some of the computers. Haven't lately, though. I'm sure today's computers will be okay.
The 64-bit, yes.
But yeah. My old machines might have some trouble. Just keep them on the old date. That's okay. That's what I do with most of them, anyways. The vintage, the truly vintage ones. I give them very old dates.
Yeah, I remember my mom and my dad actually huddling around the computer because, yes, we only had the one computer. and changing the date to as close to midnight, 1999 as possible to see if it would freak out. But no, it passed successfully. I think I had one classmate that came to school the next day. It's like, yeah, no, our computer is gone because the clock went back to 1900 and now nothing works.
Aww. Yeah. Yeah, during Y2K, I tested my IBM XT and it was fine. That was what I figured. Hey, here I'm going to see what all the hoopla is about, because a lot of places were still using IBM XTs, and it worked. It hit 2000, no problem.
What was the an interview with someone around that time is saying planes will fall from the sky? It's like,
Oh god, yeah, that whole thing. Oh my gosh.
I was kind of disappointed because it's the year 2000. Let's turn on the computer. Well, I can still play Doom. So
yeah. The biggest scare really was our infrastructure of traffic lights and that kind of thing that's running really old systems, and some of those did have to be updated, obviously, but they needed to be updated in the first place, so they got updated.
No, this is not a block of Coke.
That wrapping is way too thin to be Coke.
About 7 1/4 keys. Off the top of my head.
How many fans did you buy?
I'm just spitballing. It's power supply, baby.
Ah.
Yeah. This is the reminder. Like, oh, right, while I'm in here. Before I cut everything off and leave. All right, so we got that. Let's move things strategically so we don't knock them over during the show into a glass desk and have a panic attack.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, man. Wait, what? Oh, that's what that is. Lovely.
It's Y2K22.
That's funny, Steve has been.
22. I don't know. I do like the idea of Y2K is a yearly sporting event, like wrestling.
Oh yeah.
There it is. We hit that. And we scroll down. The sport. That's what we need. Let's pull that down just a bit. All right. Let's go.
With that mouse racing, I'll just chop off the cords and let them slide down the ramp.
Do they make mice with haptic feedback?
I think someone was going to. I don't know if it actually came out. I remember reading something about that there was like a vibration feedback when you did things with the mouse.
Okay, to finish the sentence, do they make a mice with haptic feedback that they don't advertise that can be triggered remotely?
That would be funny.
Considering they're all internet connected nowadays, probably.
I don't know. All right, let's do a show in 3, 2. Hey, welcome back to Linux Weekly, Daily, Wednesdays. Did I say Linux? I did. I meant Linux Weekly, Daily, Wednesdays. We're going to sit back, relax, take a midweek break, talk about some of the fun things that we found going on in the world of Linux, open source, anything else. Let's say Linux again because, Linux. I'm Vin Stone. That's Joe Bryant. And over there is Pedro Mateus. And everyone watches us live on Twitch. How's it going? Man, we got a lot to get into. Before the show, during the live stream, I had to go get a power supply. Ooh, It's power supply because power supply, and I got like 3 extra boxes down here that one of each is for these two, but the third one we use for the after shows. And on Saturdays, we bring in everyone on Discord to live stream, like, hey, come party with us, play some games and all that fun stuff. It doesn't have a monitor hooked up to it, so it's real easy to forget to power it down after the end of a 6-hour stream at 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, whatever. And it's real quiet. Shut everything down in the studio. Whatever. Take a nap. So it's like 7 o'clock, I slept for like 3 hours. Like, okay, got to get up and edit the show on Sunday. And I'm in here. I got everything on. I'm importing, ingesting video. Then I hear out of nowhere.
Ooh.
I might have weed myself a bit. Brain's not ready for that. Going from just dead silence to a grindy fan. That was that wasn't fun.
Like a scary sound.
My brain wasn't ready for that. And so yeah, I ended up pulling the power supply out. What did it look like? It looked a bit like let's see, do I have that? If you follow me on social media, I administered several rounds of kinetic therapy to the end of the power supply while it was still in the case in hopes of solving the issue. Nay, it was not to be. But yeah, I think the fun thing was it turns out I can just get a new power supply cheaper than I can replace the fan. So
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that, and to reward myself, I punished myself further by buying that's a $50 piece of metal.
Camera stick.
That's my camera stick,
Cool.
man. It doesn't even take selfies.
Yeah.
The photography market, and this is the cheap one too. This is a racket, man. They know there's 2 companies that make these, and what it is, it's one that you can hang sandbags off the end of or weights, so you can have an overhead shot. And I'm still not pleased about that.
No.
No, but I needed it for a thing.
I see the
That's a
Adafruit
pretty
logo
flower.
there.
It's a project. It's a video I'm working on. And what you think is in this box is not that, but it's a thing for what you think is in the box. Have fun with that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I started trying to figure that out, and then my brain just tied itself in a knot. No, it's okay.
How about you, Jill? Anything new?
Oh boy. So I've been continuing the process of cleaning out this room and getting it ready to for a new paint, new carpet, and remodeling. And the big thing I did this last week was the Ethernet switch brouhaha. I had 4 Ethernet switches with 16 ports on them full of Ethernet cables that ran to all my computers. So I did a lot of winding up of cables over the week, and, disconnecting them and just, cataloging them all and having fun with that. And that was a 2-day project. It really was.
So did you at least get to enjoy the spaghetti, or was it just roll it up and put it away?
It was just rolled up. I mean, they were all organized because I'm very OCD about trying to keep them as straight as possible.
That removes all the fun. You did it right the first time.
Yeah, and they're all labeled to what computer they went to, and I'm even color coded. Each box was color coded, different color. I had pink ones on one and turquoise on another, and yeah, and And each box had a different category of computers. Some went to the old Macs and others went to my old vintage IBMs. And I'm a bit OCD with that.
I just kept all mine in umbilical cord, and I pulled them out, and I replaced them with this fancy new technology called fiber optics. So I went from 15 cables to 1, 2, 4.
Wow.
No.
Pedro, as we do every week, minimum effort was applied, so you didn't write anything in the show notes for that.
To be fair, nothing really spectacular happened. I bought a video game yesterday. Yay! That's about it.
Did you stream anything this week? You got any plans?
I did.
New?
I've been continuing the Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, or The Adventures of Sir Kix-a-Lot Death Boot, and the conspicuously placed spike racks. And yes, that will be an ongoing series until either the game freaks out to a point where I can't play it anymore, or I finish it, whichever one comes first. So yeah, that's on Tuesdays.
Tune in Tuesdays. I tuned in yesterday to watch you getting cross about traps.
Yes, that place had a lot of traps, like a lot. And quite a few of them are basically invisible until you get exploded by one, and then you look for it. It's like, there you are. Okay.
Do you think you could ever be convinced to stream your games from a meme distro?
Yes.
I would. If it weren't for Jordan already using Fedorf for that Saturday show, What We Do, I myself would be using it. But this is about the new version of Fedorf. There we go.
There's your red hat.
Milady.
Aww.
But yes, Fedorf 35 is out, and you can get it right now. The big thing about this particular release is GNOME 41, at least for the workstation variant. It's kind of a boring release, let's be honest. There's not a whole lot going on here. It's just a couple of version bumps, and yes, the GNOME 41 is like the big thing that people are expecting. Though there was one thing that myself and Jill caught, which was the a different silver blue variant, Kinoit or Kinwat. I'm entirely
I'm not sure either.
Not sure. Yeah, because it is an expression in Japanese to say that is a tree, Kinoite. But it not entirely sure that that's what Fedora based the name on. But yeah, the thing about Kinoit, or however you want to pronounce it, is it's kind of like Silverblue, but better. Yes, it's better because it uses KDE instead of GNOME. Outside of that, it's the same. It is purely built on OS, the RPM OS tree. And yes, I do mean tree. So I guess it could be Kinoite. Yeah, that makes sense. And it uses Flatpaks for the user-facing applications, and it uses the immutable base the same way that Silverblue already does. So you get an update to the core OS systems, you reboot, and it's basically Silverblue with KDE. That's that's kind of what it is.
So that's not going to be the default, is it, Jill? Maybe you want a desktop manager that doesn't constantly leak memory or something.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
So So GNOME 41 has lots of improvements, and I mean a lot of improvements. It overall is a little bit faster, and it's got a new software center, which is pretty nice. That includes Flatpak support, which I'm really happy about. So that'll be really nice for Fedorf, because Fedora likes to use the vanilla GNOME. So good thing. And yeah, it is cool that we have a variant, like Pedro was saying, for Fedora Kinoite. Very
Yeah,
nice.
good luck with the
Nice to have
pronunciation.
KDE.
It's
Yeah.
all crazy talk, man. Now, a couple of neat things in this is the cloud images now have hybrid boot support. So, legacy UEFI boot modes, you're good with that. And Fedora Cloud 35 now uses ButterFS. Yay! Now you too can wonder where everything went. Good
Sorry,
news
loves it.
for the audio and video stack. Wire Plumber Session Manager. That's now the default. RIP, Pavu Control, and all the other nonsense. So you're going to be able to play with that out of the box, which is neat because if you want to play with like the latest pre-configured Wayland and Pipewire stuff, Fedora 35 is the way to do it, unless, of course, you're a tech YouTuber. Then you'd probably want to use something further outside your wheelhouse of pre-configured usability, right? Like Arch.
I mean, it depends on how many clicks you want to drag into displaying your own shortcomings in reading what's on screen.
You got to do it for the memes.
Yeah.
Milady.
Fedora.
I could do this whole show, man. I mean,
Yes.
You know what? Marked improvement. Here you go.
That's so cute.
There you go.
Aw.
Oh, Nick. Yes.
That's staying there.
That's perfect.
There's a new Linux kernel out, and I want to tell everyone we are currently running it on the DAW. I went ahead and compiled 5.15, and I was like, well, that's not dangerous enough. Let's apply the full RT patch to that and get that up and running, and here we are.
Oh, very cool. So yes, so on Halloween Day, yes, last Sunday, Linus Torvald gave us a treat with the Linux kernel 5.15 release. And it includes, lots of important new features and bug fixes. And this version of the kernel now officially includes the Paragon Software's new NTFS file system driver, NTFS 3. Awesome. So for those of you needing to access NTFS volumes, now you can read and write on it much quicker.
Yeah, and Linus was very, very keen on having the Paragon stuff included, so very nice.
Yeah, very
nice.
cool. And there's also initial support for Intel DG2 Alchemist discrete graphics. Yay! Which we should be seeing soon.
Q1
Yay.
2022, supposedly.
Yeah, yes.
It'll be
So
interesting
March
to-
31st.
Well, it's not like we can put any faith in the benchmarks from Intel.
Yeah. True.
What's that? Well, our processor was running at 2.5x the power.
Hush.
No, it's fine.
Same
That's
thing.
a fair.
Nope.
And there are also improvements for AMD CPUs and GPUs, including temperature monitoring support added for AMD Zen 3 based APUs. And this is something really cool. A new audio driver for the Van Gogh APU, which should benefit Valve's Steam Deck. I was very excited to hear about that. And support for upcoming RDNA 2 graphics cards in the AMD GPU kernel driver. Awesome! Yay! Way to go, Linus. And, something I was really happy about, it didn't get a lot of coverage, but there's a newer Realtek RTL 8188 EU Wi-Fi driver. Oh, very good. Because sometimes there were problems with the older one.
Well, I mean, it's Wi-Fi. Don't use it.
It's Realtek Wi-Fi. It
Yeah,
either works
Realtek.
or you don't
Or it
trust it and you
doesn't.
replace the Wi-Fi module.
With the USB one. Yeah.
So, as I pointed out, the Dawn the Studio is currently running 5.15. I got that up and running last night. I've been fighting. Like, the entire 5.14 series was having problems with my Army format converter in the box. But a couple things about 5.15 you might not know. It's going to be the new long-term support kernel, which that's kind of interesting. That's good to know. And, I mean, it's not going to EOL until 2023, so it has all the stuff from 5.14, all the new audio bits with latency mapping and timing and all this stuff. Some of them are kind of hit and miss. I suggest playing with them if you have access to the kernel. Just build your own. It's not terribly difficult because there's like the new module, the low latency sound USB audio driver, which should give you consistent latency. If anything else, they had to rework some stuff in the back end with the also. There's even a way to kind of revert it if you run into problems like I did. But I can say the also raw MIDI stuff, all that's working right now. Isn't that right, Daw? That's not going to have any problems during this show. That's right. Okay. No.
Give it a pet, Ben.
With my foot. There is also support in the kernel now for the Mark of the Unicorn, the Motu 896HD. And I'll tell you what that's support in just a second, because Pedro has to talk about wearers. It's like the voyeur error, only in Halloween.
The wearers?
Yes.
Yes, you may remember that we talked about that during this particular release. The big thing was changing all of the warnings to errors, so that even if you got a warning during compile, it would fail as though it were an actual error. So apparently, after the second bit of news that Linus was saying, yes, this is still very much affecting us, and it is slowing things down, it seems like they didn't run into any more issues, and yeah, after, what was it, 2 or 3 release candidates, okay, there's your 515, go. Yeah, so, very good.
Nice.
What does it mean, Pedro?
I think it means that there's no excuse now. At least as far as the kernel goes, there are no warnings, so, all right.
Hold my GCC.
Throw in the compiler, yes.
One thing after the show on Saturday, go watch it if you want to come hang out with us live. We do a Linux gaming show, and it's kind of entertaining. During the after show, we were hanging around doing things, and I noticed I got a message. It was like, oh, my buddy Tech. And it's everyone's favorite also kernel developer. Hit me up Saturday, and I was a little excited. He's like, hey, man, adding ALSA controls to the internal effects for the Motu MK3 series, like we were just talking, the 896, but he's doing some real work, which you might not know about the Motu. Its audio interface. I think they started coming out around 2007, and encompassing the 828, there's the 896, 8 pre-ultralight, Audio Express, all this fun stuff. But all of the MK3 series have an internal, well, you crack them open, you're like, hey, look, there's a Xilinx FPGA in there, and there's a reason for it. They have multi-band EQ, they have compression, they have analog model leveling systems, a bunch of fancy stuff in there on top of all the routing that they can do. But you need an application, and that application only existed on Mac and Windows to access all of the effects from the desktop, because the only other way to do it was to play around with 4 rotatable pushable knobs and like a 20-character LCD screen. It wasn't pretty, so you might as well just say, nah, it's not going to use any of the effects. This is the beginnings of having reverse engineered all of what is sent back and forth between that to adjust everything through ALSA Mixer. So you'd be able to pull it up and adjust your EQ, compression, and all the other fun stuff, which made me very excited. Very, very excited. Now, getting it set up is going to be a task. It requires several new bits, along with so you want to be pulling from kernel next. If that doesn't sound like your jam, maybe you shouldn't play around with it. But I look forward to getting a little bit of testing. Now, you might be wondering, why would you want to mess with this? I was trying to explain to everybody Saturday night. USB is a dumpster fire protocol for audio interfaces. The audio industry knew this. They immediately went from FireWire to Thunderbolt 1. Yeah, no, was what they said to USB audio. We're kind of in a really, really sweet spot right now, because FireWire support on Windows 10, Windows 11, and new versions of Mac, even double so with the new Mac M1 series, non-existent. Doesn't work. Very much in the Linux kernel, alive and well. So you look at something like a Motu 828 Audio MK3 FireWire only, I can go out and pick one of those up for about $200-300. Now, on the other hand, that exact same interface, but they make an 828 MK3 Hybrid, if you find one of those, it's going to be closer to $800. You get the idea here. What same device? It's just nobody can use this other one, so people are just dumping them, and they're fantastic. These are not low end, they're not old, they're not antiquated. Audio technology just moves at a relatively glacier pace compared to what you would think. Like, that's why I think anybody doing audio production under Arch, I'm like, why do you age yourself? But all right. More power to you. So those are out there. If you happen to run across an MK3 like a ultralight or something like that, go ahead and pick it up. Do yourself a favor. And but if you just want something that's like easy to just plug in, like I just want to do this and talk on the Twitch, go check out my interfacing Linux, the Scarlett Focusrite Solo. That's a great one, about $100. But if you want to do something fancy, there are very, very good deals to be taken advantage of from Linux that are nowhere else. Like even Pedro's coming to you through an audio interface that is not compatible with Windows or Mac.
No, it really is not. That Poogie duet is doing very, very well. So, and my ear is very, very much like the sound of that particular preamp too. So there you go.
How many hundreds of dollars did the good FireWire card cost you?
35 pounds.
Oh.
And I had to ship it in from France.
Well, okay. Well, it took a weekend to get it set up though, right?
Yes. A lot of going back and forth. Okay, so what do I do now? Oh, it's throwing a lot of extras. What do I do? Started from the command. Oh, there we go.
Oh, no, that's cool. Just audio in general, Pedro. I'm talking about getting it installed. You know, you had to get the drivers configured and everything for the FireWire
Oh,
card.
yeah. No, that was plug it in, plug the thing in. It's like, oh, it already makes sound. It's already technically working. I mean, Jack didn't like it very much, but it was working fine with all. So I was like,
well, here's something. Okay, this is an interesting conversation to have real quick. Is you had the experience of, okay, I got the card, I plugged it in, it's not doing what I want, but you didn't throw Linux under the bus immediately. What did you do?
No. I kept working on it, but then again, I had already had another interface, which was the Mbox 2, that was working just fine, and I had the Apoogie 1, which also worked just fine, except it's not shielded, so it picks up on all of the interference. So I knew that my system, as far as I knew, was working fine. It's just that's the thing that changed, so that had to be the issue. Linux was already there. It was clearly already working. So
you knew it was possible. This is what I'm getting to is just because you can't figure out how to make something work doesn't mean it doesn't work. It might not work for you.
Yes.
Right.
It means that you don't want to do the work to make it work.
Well, you know, everyone in the Linux community, wanting to or not, you got to pay attention to the Linus Tech Tip things. And I was like, how does this entire argument change if you replace Linux with Apple M1?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't. It's the same one.
Oh.
But no, Apple is a premium brand, while Linux is seen as the budget option. I don't want to get political.
Think about that. I had to think about that today because I saw Codeweavers post a thing. Codeweavers makes crossover, and you know they're working on M1 stuff. And like it kind of runs on the M1. You can kind of game on it a little bit if you squint. And like, what is that setup like? That's not out of the box. You could use third-party tools, and like, seriously,
and you can't use Apple's ones because they don't exactly open the source to their stuff.
So better than nothing. But
you have to re-engineer everything.
It was like gaming on Linux or gaming on Windows versus gaming on an M1. Like, I would watch that video.
They can't make that video because then Apple might throw their lawyers. I
don't think so. Here's what I want to see. Gaming on the M1 versus gaming on Linux.
Well, you already know it's going to be better.
Exactly. But, I mean...
There's this Linux device that's coming out that is going to supposedly be able to play all the video games currently available on the Steam platform.
Steam Deck.
I still want to do the video where we take two identical just hardware blocks, PCs, and we do time to Counter-Strike, or we start with a Linux USB thumb drive and a Windows, whatever the equivalent of that is.
Yeah.
And an internet
Time to
connection.
Counter-Strike is good, yes.
Right. And this is the first person to get up and running in Counter-Strike online.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? It could happen. But
Yeah.
we need to talk about Firefox. Firefox is a thing, and it's got the biggest new feature. Everyone's been waiting for it, clamoring for it. You know, I'm talking about the ability to pick your own color palette. That is right. 6 fun seasonal colorways available for a limited time only. It can genuinely not understand why any engineering effort was wasted on this, because I wanted to start this off with having solved all other issues. Mozilla has. Anyway.
It turns out a lot of their users use the colorways options.
No,
to theme
there's
Firefox.
100% disconnect between the hardcore people still fighting for Firefox going, you do it. Okay, we got to make sure that we're still using Firefox, and the Firefox team going, they want colors.
Let's make it look pretty.
I don't think that was necessarily the case. But the big news for this, the new version of Firefox 94 is they're switching the graphics stack, which is really neat. Mm-hmm. Moving from GLX to EGL, but it was already on EGL. On Wayland, yes. Yes, but we're talking about an X, because now you can play with the EGL goodness on X using your NVIDIA card. That's what changed. You know, I tried it.
You need
I enabled it.
Specific driver for that.
Yeah, and by specific, you mean you need the most recent updated non-beta driver.
Yes, you need 495 because that's the one that implements GBM over or EGL over GBM, something like that. I get confused. NVIDIA.
And you do have to enable it. It's not enabled by default right now. You go into about config and whatever and set GFX X11 EGL force, put that on enabled yes. And it appears to be working. I enabled it. Nothing exploded. I went to YouTube and I went to our web zone. And the reason they didn't enable is because I think it's some power saving wake event bug causing some flickering or something like that. But the thing, who was it? Somebody on Twitter mentioned, I wonder if it'll work with my NVIDIA 70 series card. No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, the 700 series not supported anymore. Sorry.
Incorrect, Pedro. I set you up, fool.
The 750 Ti is still supported.
Correct. Yeah.
The 760 is not.
Well, when you go back and look at the supported things and it doesn't say that, then what do you do?
They said they were dropping Kepler. Kepler is the 700 series and some of the 800 series. So yeah, it was just the 750 Ti. That was Maxwell. So
let's take a look instead of just taking guessworks on that. Because I like to be correct. And
it wasn't the beta announcement that they were dropping.
No. Let's make sure we're looking at the latest. 495. See, I want to be. I'd rather be accurate than be correct. So that's the main reason I'm checking this. 750 and
750 Ti, 750, and 745. The Maxwell cards.
The Maxwell cards. Yeah. I have 750 Ti.
I don't mind being wrong, but it feels good when I'm right occasionally.
I knew you were right, Pedro, because I have a 750 Ti I still use.
Occasionally, if you blindly agree enough, you'll be right. Now, here's the thing. Unfortunately, the person who hit me up on Twitter asked, will it work with my 740?
Was it a 740?
I think it was a
740. Or 760?
Was it? It was one that...
It was a 760?
It was one...
The 740 is a GT, not a GTX.
Yes.
It
the 745
the
is still supported, yes.
Yeah.
But that, again, that's the Maxwell version. It's just a cut down 750 GPU. Yeah.
Now, can we all agree that the real crime is the 770 is no longer supported?
Yeah,
actually,
and the
780. We
I
can
know
make the
780
joke
is a
about
great card still.
the pirate game. What was it called?
The one?
the pirate game, that the developer told us that you have the
Curse
right
of the Raven's
hardware.
Cry.
You're just using it. Yes, thank you. Vendetta, Curse of the Raven's Cry. Yes.
Oh.
Can't make that joke anymore. Can't even run the game properly anymore, apparently.
Dude, that game, we should try it under Proton. I don't know if I can keep a straight face as soon as combat takes on, because it's like he's poking around a little noodle.
Okay.
It's kind of entertaining, but hey, go play with it. Has anybody enabled it, Joe?
Yeah, so I've been playing it on one of my Garuda Linux boxes with an RX 580, and I haven't really noticed too much of speed difference other than some WebGL games did load quicker. That's my biggest take from it, although it seemed to be a little faster with tabs. I don't know.
I didn't notice anything. I turned it on, yeah. Let's force enable it. I'm running 495. Let's do the thing.
Yeah.
It's Firefox. It's working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And with this new release of Firefox 94, one of the cool things is you can use about, you can type in about unloads in the URL to release system resources by manually unloading tabs without closing them, which I thought was really nice. You can, get rid of the resources they're using. So
you could.
I
Now, hear
did
me out.
type
This
it
is a
in.
crazy idea. Not use
Yeah.
tabs as bookmarks.
Yeah.
If you're a tab collector, this may be
New
useful
concept.
for you.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't really use many tabs. I don't usually get more than like 10, but this comes in handy for a lot of people who have like maybe 50 or 100 tabs. Yeah.
So when do you have like a legitimate problem? Anything after like, say, what, 37?
When I can only see the icon and I can no longer read the title of the page, that's when I have a problem.
Yes.
But that doesn't count for the 100 I have pinned.
But those you can only see the icon, so I don't pin tabs.
I don't know. Like I come from that generation where having 256 megs of RAM is like, what will I ever do with this bounty of memory? I'm still in the mindset of like, I am my own task manager. I see too many tabs going. I'm like, oh, you trim that down. What are we not using? And that is completely subconscious. That is not, and yes, I'm sitting on a box with 32 gigs of RAM, but using 8 for reasons, man. That's good that Firefox did that. And hey, like, all seriousness, play with colors. The default looked the best. I clicked through it and like, right then, how do I get the EGL thing up and running?
Or just set the theme to inherit the GTK colors, and then it will look the same as everything else on your desktop, which is what you should do.
No. I want it to be orange.
You really like Ubuntu?
Orange, yes. The traditional colors of Ubuntu. Orange.
Or you can make it look
Oh,
pretty,
well, half of
like
the
green,
colors.
like
I would have
OpenSUSE or
accepted
Linux Mint.
anything between purple and poo brown, but orange, nay. I will fight you
Yeah,
on
it's
this.
orange and purple, and it's the in-betweeny of the orange and purple. That's that poo brown. It's no longer Debian Brown edition is what I'm getting at.
Some people don't remember the brown old days.
Yeah.
That's when I started.
Excellent.
And the little drums that start up when you start
right.
Ubuntu.
Taught an entire generation of Linux users disable desktop audio.
Yes.
After 3 years of development, there's a new version of this wild and wacky upstart application called X.
Wow. Yeah, this is actually really, really
There's
exciting.
an X update? Where's the
Yeah,
fireworks?
there's an X update. X.org server 21.1 is here. And yes, it's been over 3 years. And thank goodness, I actually was getting worried about X.org development since Wayland is the new hotness. So for sure. But there's lots of new features in this version of Xorg server 21.1. And one is better Meson build system support. They're getting better and better at making that easier to compile and build. And the 2D acceleration driver for the X server, Glamour, now has added support for XVFB, or the X Virtual Frame Buffer display server. That happens sometimes in the background.
On the mode setting driver.
Yes. And it has X Input 2.4 touchpad gesture support. That's a biggie. That's really a biggie. We need touchpad support on Xorg. Hey, what if you want to, run an old, let's say an old a GUI like I do, like Window Maker with touch support? How do you do that?
Oh, what's that? You like to do the 3-finger swipe like you do on other operating systems to say move to the next desktop. Nope, can't do that.
No, I just walk in and I'm like, what, does your mouse not have touch support? Mine does.
It's meant for laptops.
Don't care, technically correct.
What happens when you need to right-click on your screen without a mouse?
At least I'll give him that. The 2-finger tap, one has worked for a long time.
I was going to say, step back and examine life choices if you ever need to right-click on a touch screen. Like, something's went wrong in your life.
This coming from the person who uses tablets a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need to right-click, Pedro. Don't need to right-click.
Yeah, long press.
There we go. That's how we do it. No, this is pretty dope. I'm very happy to see this. Now, one of the things, I think the big takeaway from this that has got a couple of people excited. We're going to get it before X is completely abandoned, forgotten about, and it's just a footnote in histories, and it's only run on oscilloscopes. Variable refresh rate support in X.
Nice.
Previously thought to be impossible.
Properly done, and you don't need to rely on either Mesa for the Radeon driver or for the Intel driver, or the NVIDIA proprietary driver. Now X can actually do it by itself. Finally! How long have variable refresh rate monitors been around? I have 2 in front of me right now. This one is technically VRR. It's 40 to 60. That's it. That's the VRR window. But this one, on the other hand, which has also been deemed and tested by NVIDIA to be G-Sync compatible, it goes from 28 to 144 hertz. That's the variable refresh window. So, yeah, you had to use either an NVIDIA card or sacrifice a goat in the 3rd full moon of the year to hope that you'd get a chance to actually use it with your Radeon card. So I'm glad. I'm very, very, very happy to see that X is finally getting it when Wayland is finally getting to the point where it almost can be used. Well, you can absolutely use it if all you're doing is playing games or browsing the interwebs and you have a Radeon GPU. Use Wayland. You're good to go. But us NVIDIA people, we're still stuck on X for all of the reasons that we've been mentioning in the past few episodes. Though I suspect that people like me who have 2 different monitors with different VRR windows will still be subject to NVIDIA's whims and NVIDIA's driver to be able to do the different speeds of refresh and the having to deal with the memory leaks that KWin throws because it doesn't like having 2 different
Sounds like a bunch of
rates.
self-inflicted problems you got over there, Mateus.
I dug my own grave, or I made my own bed, so now I'm gonna lay in it or lie in it. It's kind of hard to tell which one when you're technically doing both. But yes, I do that's one of the things that I really do want is to have this one at 144 and this one at 60, and then just be able to use my window manager like a window manager. KWin. Bring in a memory leak for the 3rd time that day because you don't like it.
You know what? I mean, having... No. You know what? I'm team consistent refresh rate across all screens now. You've convinced me.
The gaming on 144 is very nice. Everything is so smooth. It's so pretty. I like it.
See, when I think about that, my immediate was like, how do you game 1080p 60 windowed?
2K 144, please.
Well, if I'm playing a game, I'm streaming it.
Aw. We all need less screen tearing.
I haven't seen screen tearing in a long time.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages that the NVIDIA proprietary driver has had. Though Glamour, since, accurately enough, we're talking about X, Glamour has actually been doing a very good job of, with the Intel drivers and the Radeon drivers, just
correct, yeah.
eliminating tearing.
Out of curiosity, this, with all the NVIDIA finally moving, I'm like, fine, geez, we'll play ball. Doing the bare minimum, NVIDIA. Ding, ding, ding. I
Bend the knee.
I went and looked. I'm like, where are we at on the Wayland support with XFC? So headed over to the XFCE4 roadmap. And it was about 270 words broken out into a timeline that could have been summarized with, yes, we know Wayland exists, period.
We are aware that it is a thing.
Yes. The end, as you were.
Fair, fair.
So it's going to be a minute, lads. Chromebooks, they run Linux.
They do, and they will soon be able to run multiple instances of Linux. I can't help but feel like this is somewhat inspired by the Windows subsystem for Linux version 2, because yes, Chromebooks will now allow you to have the Linux Crostini implementation, which is it's a container that lets you run Linux applications directly from Chrome OS, which is kind of odd since it's Linux based, but let's not get into that. The new UI that will allow you to enable, say, okay, I have this Debian container here, maybe I want a different container with a different distribution and have those two working on the same Chromebook. That's a very good idea. Can't help but feel like it was inspired by the WSL2, and I can't help but feel like, oh, is Google finally trying to make Chrome OS into a proper operating system?
Well,
because
come on, you got to think about it. Think about it, man. You got Microsoft sitting over there. It's like Microsoft's adding Linux, not the other way around. So my big question about this is your average Chromebook has about 512 kilobytes of memory and no storage. So
2 gigs and 16 gigs respectively. That is the cheap entry level Chromebook that most schools seem to give out to their students. The 32 gig version eMMC with 4 gigs of RAM is so much of a better experience. My computer is chugging to even render a single web page to, this is actually very nice for such a low end thing.
Listen, you don't want to run the risk of students experiencing joy, Pedro.
Yeah, we do.
No, you are in school. You are here to have your everything crushed.
Right.
Your hopes, your ego, your happiness.
That's somebody who went to public school.
I don't know. That's just my experience with schools in Portugal.
Yeah. In fact, I just got my Steve husband a Chromebook with 4 gigs of RAM, and it has a 32 gig of onboard storage. But
that should be the minimum configuration.
Yes. Yeah. But I'm really happy about this announcement because finally Linux is a first-class citizen on Chromebooks and out of beta after 3 years. What? Chrome is running Linux and the the container system is just now out of beta. Oh my goodness. But anyways, it's 3 years. I guess March of 2018. Wow. So, and what's really cool is, being able to actually run multiple apps that are in containers at the same time is a big deal. So you can run, Steam on one container and the GIMP on another container. And if you have a nicer Chromebook, you can do that. On a lower end one, it'd be a little hard to pull it off. But on a nicer mid-range to higher Chromebook, it would work nicely.
Possibly. We could possibly get Steve a laptop. I'm doing a little bit of research and, Oh,
no. Senior laptop for seniors.
I mean, don't rule it out, Steve. We can find you.
We got the old person computer, Steve.
Oh, well, he's happy because I'm going to be putting Pop! OS on his Chromebook, so he's looking forward to that.
Man, I can't wait to crack into Steam, eh?
Yeah.
It's going to be tough running GNOME on only 4 gigs of RAM, but okay.
Aw. Actually, I'll probably go, he likes cinnamon, so I'll probably put cinnamon on there for him.
You know, I did find out.
Gallium OS.
Yeah.
I think I posted it last night, maybe this morning in Discord. Somebody has a modern re-implementation of CDE.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we talked about it a while ago.
We probably
Isn't
did.
that just called XFC?
No. CD.
No.
No. XFC.
LXD?
Nope. You sweet summer child. Nay. CDE is a completely different beast. I mean, inspired by CDE? Yes. CDE like? Nah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I started with GNOME.
Oh, well.
GNOME 2 back in the day.
Hey, let me tell you what. We started with your support. If you want to support us over at patreon.com/Linux Gamecast, you can get a bunch of rewards. A brand new show each and every week. It's a little bonus soda we like to throw in. We got a bunch of membership levels. Custom podcast. I'm giving everyone a sneak peek at what I'm going to be working on. What's in the box? I'll be posting about that in Discord later this afternoon to let you know that what is in the box is not what you think. It's something for the thing that you think is in the box. I got plans, Pedro. Plans.
Very cool.
The only thing that keeps popping into my head is, what's in the box?
Oh, man. Bunch of other ways if you'd like to support the show, head over to linuxgamecast.com. We got Patreon. We got merch if you want to buy some stuff, PayPal donations. We got wish lists. I got one for the studio. Jordan's got one. Pedro's got one. Jill's got one. That cryptocurrency, it's worthless. Send it all this way and we'll convert it into hardware. And we'd like to thank each and every one of you who make this show possible. You didn't have to kick in any cash. We ask like a buck a show. And you're like, you know what? I like what you do. I like that you fill commercials. I'm not tracking anything. We host all of our own stuff. And we're back each and every week. And we try to build a fun little community for people who are, not brand new to Linux, but they want to kind of further what they got going on. I'm going to try to be helping out with that, finishing up the OBS Linux basics for just setting up OBS. Okay. Because I have this great sounding board. Well, not sounding board, but I'm watching the Squeaky Linus go through this. Like, I think I can work on a lot of this. And I'm going to make big fans with the OBS project for one thing that I'm putting in this video. Just stay tuned for that. I'll probably release how it's made behind the scenes, DaVinci talk through on that one. I'll put it up on Discord if people want to see that, or I'll post it up on Patreon. But hey, thanks for doing it. Stick around with the credits for your names because we put them there. All the fun people back here on this wall, and thanks everybody sharing the show and stuff like that. That's cool. Our marketing or non-existent marketing department, guerrilla tactics. That's how we roll. Guerrilla tactics.
We occasionally drop it's like, oh yeah, that there's a thing we do. Here,
and
link.
fedoras. Fedoras with guerrilla tactics. That's it.
Ready?
Now,
Aw.
it is time for
Strawberry.
a weekly.
Strawberry pie.
That, for whatever reason, all right, I'm not a fan of the sweets, but strawberry seems like not good for pie internals guts.
Oh, no,
Very
see,
acidic.
strawberry is good because, yes, it is very, very tart. So when you actually bite into it, it's like, yes.
Yummy.
I like
Me
I like
love
strawberry.
strawberries, too.
It's one of my favorite flavors, yes.
Because there's a bit of a gap between strawberry flavoring and strawberry.
Yeah, very different.
No,
yes.
I mean actual strawberries, yes. I don't mean the chemical stuff that you put in your vape stick or the candy strawberry. No.
Well, kids, let me tell you about something that's absolutely not in this box. And that is a new product from Raspberry Pi. The Pi 02W, now on sale for $15. That's not bad. That's not bad. Now, it's $10 more than the original. $5 Raspberry Pi Zero and Zero W. I have one of those. I made a little video on it way back when. But for your 15 wet, stinky caches, you get a quad-core slice of pie. That's right. For
so amazing.
1 gigahertz CPUs. Now, this is a little bit of a buzzkill for some people, myself included, but again,
512.
That's right. For $15, it's still at 512 megs of low-power DDR2. But very important, same form factor. All your old cases and all that fun stuff, it's going to work. Now, I, like most people, we talked about this again on Saturday for a little bit, just like what we could do gaming-wise. I might be looking into that. Oh, I'm looking at the other stuff. OpenGL, yes, that's fine. 2.4, triple E. It's got wireless, Bluetooth, all the other fun stuff. Hat compatible, 40 pins. Look at it. It's doing an imitation of the Mac Pro with all the dongles.
Yeah.
You can't count the dongles.
So there it is with a little goatee. I mean, it's an impressive bit of kit for $15, but I had a Datafruit, as one always does during the announcement. I'm like, it's out of stock. And I was talking about that on Saturday, and Matthew was like, I have got one in the stock. Yeah. And he apparently, because apparently between when I mentioned that on Saturday night during the live stream and him going to Adafruit, they had them in stock for 20 seconds. And they were immediately gone. I found a company that I went searching around, and naturally, we've all been through this experience is, okay, it's out of stock. How much of a kit do I have to buy to get one? Because that's where they're going to be in stock. Somebody's like, oh, I happen to have the $15, but you're going to need to buy our $70 accessory package with cases and useless blocks of aluminum and
really slow SD cards.
Yeah.
Really questionable cables. Yeah.
all this fun stuff. And, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, no. Like, not going to happen. And I found, I will name the company next week. Mine's going to be showing up tomorrow. I don't remember off the top of my head. But they had them in stock because I'm not throwing any shade. I order a lot of stuff from Adafruit, but they did something Adafruit maybe you might want to look into. They had a little thing when you went to order your Raspberry Pi Zero W. It said limit 1. And they were in stock.
Yay.
Valve, limited to 1. Continue limiting it to 1.
Limit to 1. And that's like
avoid
super
those
important.
bots.
Well, like, yeah, $15, all of a sudden $15. You're like, you know what? I could flip these on Amazon and eBay. I can spend, you can get a lot of pies for a couple $100.
Mm-hmm. So even if it's just 150, it's like, oh, 10.
Yep. What do you think about it, Joe? Do you want a little tiny one? You need another pie that you can just straight up lose? Because I know where mine is because I had to put it in a box because I would lose it if I left it later.
Yeah. Well, I have the $5 one I got at Micro Center last time I was there, and that's great. But I was really impressed that this thing has this little SoC has a quad-core CPU. That's actually really amazing. And it's also got 512 megs of RAM, which is actually big enough to run a lightweight Linux GUI without too much trouble. Especially if you want to run Fluxbox or Window Maker. And of course, Raspberry Pi OS's Pixel user interface works nicely on it. But I was impressed. It's not 256, it's 512.
Yep. And Artheron before the show posted the link to Jeff Geerling's video where there's already someone out there that's made a handheld kit to turn the Zero 2 into a gaming console.
See,
that didn't take very long at all.
We got to do a spin. We got to innovate. We got to come up with a new. We got to appease the YouTube algorithm. What we need to do is make a feet held gaming.
I don't think that would necessarily be for YouTube. Another video hosting website.
I'm going to sell it to Quentin Tarantino. Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm going to play around with it. There's a bunch of things to play with. Low memory, I would strongly advise. This is very much like the original Raspberry Pi. I talked about this a bit when they came out. Got one like everybody else did. And first thing I did was, composite. Like, can this thing run X? And it finally crawled its way up to an X display that technically launched. I'm like, all right, I'm good. That's all I wanted to see. And that was, I might have that experience, but this would be slightly better being quad core 512 megahertz RAM, but these are not designed for, desktop usage of any. I was surprised though. I might be able to repurpose this. This will ultimately probably end its life running a web server with OBS WebSockets that I currently have a Pi 4 running, which to power my Stream Deck. So I'm thinking about 3D printing a kit. So Frosty, if you're listening, you've messed up when you said just let me know and I'll get you something printed. Yeah. Looking forward to it. What do we have up next?
Up next, we have someone who decided to play around with the high-quality camera for the Raspberry Pi. And when paired with a Raspberry Pi 4, the 4GB model, but that's not really important.
I hate to interrupt. I just had an idea. Do you think we can install Windows 10 on a Pi 0W?
I think someone's going to try. It's not going to be a good experience, but I think someone's going to try. Even on the 4, it is atrocious. So, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, all I'm saying
Windows Server, just barely.
Might want to tune in Friday. As you
Ven installs Windows 10 on a Pi. This one this one is probably not going to be quite as interesting as what's coming on Friday, but it is very, very insane actually, because
I am sick
what's
and
the name
tired
of the
of this
person?
Canadian propaganda.
Yes. Decided to you see that footage that Ven is playing there if you're watching the video version? Mm-hmm. That was all recorded on the little experiment that this person did with the Pi 4 and the Pi high quality camera and a teeny tiny little 6mm lens.
I'm also
and you can actually see.
When I saw this, okay, I looked at the video. It's like, video looks right. My first thought was, oh, I hate saying this, but I gotta be real with everyone. It's like, who was watching DaVinci Resolve film grading tutorials? Because I was like, wow, that looks like it's got the right amount of blue added to it and the grain. It's like, that was color graded.
Yeah,
and I scrolled down and I'm like, of course.
There it is.
Yeah.
Screenshot.
Somebody was watching those. All right. We made it cinematic.
Yeah, no. They made the effort here is very much to remove all of the automatic image processing and white balancing.
Look at that. Isn't that attractive?
Yeah. And remove all of that and just let either the person who is getting the footage from the Pi with the high quality camera or the editor using DaVinci Resolve, for example, like they did. And according to School Post, which is the person who tried this, they're also on GitHub. And this gives you the same image quality at the, what's the resolution? 2028 by 1080, that's 17 by 9 in case you're wondering. 24 FPS gives you the same image quality as a $1,000 camcorder video camera type of situation.
Asterisks.
That's their claim. Yeah, a little low resolution, but yes.
It's insane. Great. I mean, that's really good for something that you can put together yourself for about $100. Well, except for the lens. Then again, it's just a 6mm lens, so it's not going to run away like some of the other lenses. Well, but yeah.
Yeah. 90%, I'm going to say 90+% of your image quality is going to come from the glass on it. And I said this, and I say this as somebody who owns $100 worth of the pro camera lenses. These are CCTV lenses. This glass is not the best of the best. Yeah. It's really good webcam level. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for $100
and with a little bit of editing, you can actually do. Admittedly, it was only 40 seconds of footage that they have there of the can and then the drink with the focus shifting. And if you're looking at the reflection, you can actually see him going like.
I want to play with this. This has tons and tons of potential. I mean, if
absolutely,
depending on the ability to hack in, or maybe it's already there. I haven't had a chance to play with this. the ability to get a clean HDMI feed out of this, I'll squeal a little bit because then we could be setting up, designing very simple kits for, DSLR-ish quality level webcams really much on the cheap. And I want to applaud them because they have spent the time. I'm not joking. Go back, check the show notes if you want some links to look at it for yourself. Making this usable as a camera, like conceptually, just from the beginning, and it doesn't have random bits flopping about and having the proper live view. This would have definitely an 8 out of 9 on the TSA acceptance scale. I would say there's
with that case that they show in the picture there, that looks like a camera. That's a camera. Okay.
Almost guaranteed probability of getting this through the TSA without them going, this is a bomb. Right? I think it's a very, very cool project, and very excited about it. And I have all the parts to play around with it, so I probably will, depending on whether or not I can turn the Pi Zero W2. I wish I'd kept my original Zero, but I gave it to a kid, and I think they probably ate it or something.
As kids are off to do.
It was $5, man. I'm like, here, go educate. Whatever. Do you want? It's me being me, dude. I'm like, I'm like, clutter. Hey, if you want to tell us about your Pi-powered projects, Jill, you want to think about maybe making one into a broadcast studio quality camera?
Well, no. Just as an extra to do a little filming in here. Instead of spending another $1,400 on a high-end camera.
I mean, you could just take that one off the camera stand.
I know, but I want to keep it there.
Is it in good position? Don't touch it.
Yeah.
This is why you buy a really good wall mount. So. You go. Mine doesn't.
Yeah,
mine doesn't even work as a camera.
I got mine on a tripod, but I can't reach it, and that is an issue because my
that's probably for the best.
Monitor is so big, so I kind of want to keep that one there and then have another one.
This would be fun to play around with, and different lenses, a lot of possibilities. And I'm curious to see what it looks like when it hasn't been run through the cinematic filters with DaVinci Resolve. I say
because it is. That's the thing. It's remove everything that the Pi does to the high quality camera by default, and just give you the raw image.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been over a year since I did the original Raspberry Pi Zero webcam video. I want to see where they've gone as far as adapter wise, because I got a bunch of glass, like Nikon glass, and I'm sure somebody's made an adapter plate for it by now to actually put a decent lens on it and see what type of quality we can get out of it.
Oh, they had the pictures with the big telescopic lens on it.
Exactly. And plus, I think that would look infinitely more hilarious with the Raspberry Zero. It's for the bits. Hey, everyone. As I was saying, if you want to get in touch with us, head over to LondonSchemecast.com, smash that contact button, fam. Send us a message. You got something going on. Maybe you're working on a project like this and you'd like to come plug it and chill. We'd love to have you. And leave us a comment on YouTube, Patreon, anywhere that we can be found. But we're running a little bit long, so we got to bounce out of here. I got to roll the credits. So that means I got to click on things. I got to do that.
Yeah.
And I got a credits button
roll those
somewhere.
Credits, Ben. Yay.
Such enthusiasm.
Yeah.
What?
Thank you, everyone.
The camera's still on.
Chat.
Oh, gosh dang it.
Our Darren, Daisy, Strider, Steve Husband, Altamore, Becca Farm is in there. Gosh, we had so many people in today. It's just great.
Yeah.
Don M.
Not only was the show, created because of everyone's like, yeah, no, you should totally do a more Linuxy general thing, but they're also here watching that.
Yeah,
you crazy people, you.
We love you all. And now you have a heart mask to prove it.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Is
All right.
done.
Oh, I forgot to thank my brother Jelly Bean for being in. Sorry, brother. I forgot you on the list. Not fun.
You know, if you hadn't mentioned it, no one would have noticed.
Yeah.
Not even Jack.
Let me see.
Yay. Thank you, Altamore. Sandman.
There we go. All right. Let's do that. Do that. Let's see. All right. We'll hang out about 4:40. We've got about 10 minutes. I'm just checking, making sure nothing exploded on the internet when we were doing this show. It's like ironically.
I didn't hear a blop this time, so.
Yeah, me neither.
Like during live streams is when I'm the most ironically unplugged from communications because I do not check notifications. I do not, nothing. All that's off in here.
Yeah. Mine are too. I always mute all that stuff. Except for Discord.
Yeah, no, I forget
and Twitch.
sometimes.
Well,
And then
that's
someone
kinda
texts
the,
me on Discord and it goes, "Pow." Oh, right.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
like trying to like, type stuff to the chat. Didn't you? Like, man, I'm running a switcher. Everything else trying to be on a show. I might have missed it. Sorry. You might want to like hit me again. I didn't do it.
That's what
out of
I
cruelty.
manually go through each. I mean, I have like 200 rooms in Discord, and I go through and manually, turn off notifications for all of them, except for Linux Gamecast.
Oh, I've disabled all globally. There's like you can not reply me all you want. I'll never see it.
Oh, okay. No, I keep that on, but I tell it not to.
Oh, it's
make
cute.
any-
It still highlights and chats, but I don't see it. Like, I don't get a notification from it. Like, if you want to get in touch, man, just reply me in Discord because it'll pop up somewhere, man. Or hit me on Twitter and be like, yo, check Discord.
That's the LGC server and the server that coworker Dave started. Those are the only two servers that I don't have all notifications,
So-
including the mentions, killed.
How many hours would it take for someone to get fired if management were to log into that server?
We wouldn't, actually.
Oh, your server
We keep
sucks,
work.
Mateus.
We keep work out of that particular thing. If we need to talk work on Discord, we do it over IMs. That's it. But yeah, no, it is basically gaming and just random stuff, but nothing related to work. But yeah, there's a bunch of people from work on it.
Oh, there's a new 3D first-person shooter for the Atari 800.
I saw Strider's mini review of it.
Oh,
I can't see anything.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's even got an auto map. Come on, now how much would you pay?
It's so cool.
How many gigs is it? Comes in hex.
Oh,
If
nice.
it's 1 megabyte, I'll be surprised.
Fine, now I'm
Cool,
curious.
cool, Matthew. What kind of music is it? Well, other than, of course, game music, but what genre?
I do like me some good sound tunes in my video games.
That's bigger than I was expecting. Oh, this is an extra folder. What's that? Oh, those are pings. Jeez, man.
So,
Oh,
so how
nice.
big is the actual
Well,
game?
yeah.
The
Of course, it would be Atari 8-bit.
Zex file itself
But is it salsa
40K.
or disco or
Yeah.
chip tunes? I have all my chip tune classics. I've got salsa. I've got
Nori was
Techno,
we were
I've
talking
got
about like
soundtrack.
old gaming systems, and Nori was saying she had an Atari 1200 when she was young. It's like,
Yeah.
There's a Christmas gift. So I went on eBay and I typed Atari 1200 and it's like, you're not getting that for a Christmas gift.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're
you
expensive
see,
now.
people who want them to, like, hey, that'd be fun to play. We're like, no, SMI.
They're
Hoard.
collector's prices now.
Yeah. And people who don't do anything will ruin the market. I was going to show you guys what was in the box, but I've decided against it. Mr. Box. Oh, who wants to come replace this power supply?
Were you not saying earlier that you were surprised by how easy it was? Or
Pedro,
defeated by how simple it was?
We've been over this.
Something like that?
We've been over this. I am lazy, but I have a
Yeah,
strong
Don
work ethic.
No, that Don, that harkens back to the day of the BBSs with your, mods and X3M files and all the goodness before there was a web internet when we used to share music. and there was always salsa mods in there.
Early Christmas. I feel weird. I don't have my razor blades. Pedro, you got something on your mustache.
Huh?
Left side, but right here. I think you might have.
Was it just water? Just a water droplet there the whole time?
It was something, man.
Maybe.
I just happened to notice it when I looked. This is the
I didn't see
downside
it.
of, like, the better a resolution gets.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got the 6-pin. I got the 4-pin. I got the vodka drink. I got the whiskey drink.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. HP. I'm sure it says 240 on there somewhere. We'll find out.
I was just gonna say, is it a 240 or 220?
Yeah, that looks right.
They're usually 240s unless they're 180s.
Yeah.
They'll.
Yes, I know. Yeah, the HPs have some that are different. There was one that was a 320.
It's usually whether or not they have a dedicated GPU or
Yeah,
something that
discrete,
requires
yeah.
extra power. But otherwise, it's usually 240 or 180.
Well, it's got a dedicated fiber optic card in it.
Yeah,
I've
I don't
got-
think that needs extra power. I think the
Lasers run off
775.
unicorn parts.
I've got actually two Dell 5055s. It's the rare Ryzen optiplexes,
All
and
the,
they're great little machines. I got the mid tower and the small form factor.
I do got to ask Pedro a
I
question,
have
though.
the one Latitude series laptops that they made with Ryzen CPUs, the 5495.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
Go
know.
ahead.
No, fine. No. Be like that, man.
now let's see this.
Let's see, hang on. I don't want your room to get as much as I have it blocked out. All right. I'm curious. Controller heat sinks. That's pretty boring. What, Pedro?
I don't know. I can't read what's on the terminal there, so
Good.
I guess I could go look at the live video. Let's see, Twitch.
I don't even think you'll be able to read
Yeah.
that. Maybe, yeah, you could definitely read that if you were watching a live stream.
Yeah. All right, so 49, 47,
That's not
27 for the ACPI,
SFC PCI.
ACI adapter. Ooh, it has two 1.2 volt rail. Oh, right. Okay. There's a dedicated analog supply. Okay. All right.
Everything's fine. Everything's normal.
Mm-hmm. That 3.3 volt rail is pulling a bit more, but yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that falls in. It's working.
Yeah.
Yay.
But yeah, you can pull 75 watts out of a by 16 PCIe slot. So even if it's, what are those, by 4s or by 1s?
What the one?
Yes.
The one with a fiber card in it? That one?
Yes.
Yes. I think it's, I don't know, by 8. Maybe by 16.
So half size?
Oh, no, it's full size.
So it's a full size
Yeah.
slot. Okay. Right. Okay.
No, it's what I pulled that up for is something like, oh, dang it, I got to rerun LM sensors since I've updated these because the cards have their own thermal sensors on them that report to LM sensors because they get hot.
See, it's already doing better than the Ryzen 3000 when it first came out because I bought this 3700X on release, effectively. And you wouldn't even get K10 when I first got it. It's like, nope, no temperature readout. You want a temperature? Go look at the BIOS. Really?
Good job, Steve husband. He knows how to take screenshots.
Steve, that was so condescending.
I'm teasing. And he cropped it and everything. No, I'm teasing you, love.
You know what? It could have been a picture of the monitor. That would have been more impressive. It'd been funny.
That was the ultimate troll there, Steve, because the resolution on that screenshot is minuscule.
So you've heard of Elf on a Shelf, right?
Uh-huh.
Please let it not be the one with the tiger from Winnie the Pooh.
Nope. New holiday tradition, tater on a grater.
Ah, yes.
Tater on a grater.
Yes. I like the Poundland account on Twitter as it starts getting into Christmas. They're very, very edgy.
Yeah, it's so funny because when me and Steve, we started seeing all this Elf on the Shelf stuff, I'm like, what the heck is that? Because, we're too old to know about it. I mean, because we didn't grow up with it. And then I was reading about it, and, okay, I watched a movie. So I got myself familiar with the Elf on the Shelf.
The only thing I can remember are like the two really, really bad as in you can't say them without being branded all manner of names.
The only thing I know to this date about Elf on the Shelf is the internet meme of it. It's like,
Yes.
it's the thing you say before you show the picture.
It was,
the books are actually quite charming. I was just too young to. I wasn't around. I wasn't a little kid then. So
That was during my incorporeal phase. Non-corporeal English. Well, that's also a good thing about English. I could defend that if I needed to.
Yes, you're given enough leeway and enough situational, and it that's the thing that confused me the most when I started learning English was how the exact same sentence can mean a completely different thing depending on where you put the emphasis.
yes.
It's like she said she wouldn't do that, or it's like she said she wouldn't do that, or she said she wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It's the same sentence.
No, he's got to spell it correctly.
I think you meant the there.
That's my
Yes,
interpretation of
there's
the
there,
they,
and
rare.
there.
Right.
And watch and watch.
The only thing I think with English that would trip me up when I was picking it, to this day, and it's not necessarily the grammar of it, it's just the rampant inefficiency of two and two.
Oh, T-O and T-O-O and
Yes, because
T-W-O.
there is zero situations where a misspelling of that would lead to an incorrect interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? You
Yeah.
could replace it with just the number 2, and it would work in every example you could possibly give me.
And yeah, no one can call you out for misspelling that because you're using lead speak. Yeah. But it works. The fact of the matter is it works. That's the one. There.
Touche. Touch.
Touchy?
Touchy.
Yeah, wouldn't
Because
have.
in
Yeah.
English there are no accents on letters, so that accent at the end of the E isn't there, so it's touchy.
Oh, look at that, man. That's some like Glasgowan level.
Wouldn't have. You wouldn't have done that. Or the Tesco cafe when we go to Tesco's. It's not. There's no accent on the E, so it's the cave. Oh, do you want to go to the cave?
So did anybody remember that Doctor Who had a Halloween special?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you guys mentioned that.
Yeah.
But I forgot.
I haven't watched it, but yeah.
I watched about 8 minutes of it. Like I now that I know I don't have to put up with this anymore, and I'm talking about Chenbul. I'm so excited that Doctor Who writing might return to
Yeah.
previous
same here.
levels of like better
Good.
than it's been.
That was everywhere in the news. It's like, they're no longer
Yeah.
under the clutches of the BBC. It's like, is that why it was crap? Okay.
It looked bad, man. I'm not one to talk about VFX and compositing and stuff like that, but the intro, like what you're walking into that Christmas special is like, I could have done that. It was rough, man. Like that was like, it didn't
What's
feel
the
like,
specials?
here's the thing. It didn't feel like budget constraint VFX. It felt like lazy VFX. Like we don't care now, whatever.
The specials were always the ones that you could tell that was a special because, hey, that's got a lot of visual effects. Like the one with the Spider Queen for the
That was
Tenant
good.
Doctor. It's
I
like,
think
you're just straight up drowning the spider babies. Right on.
The last Christmas special I liked, and we're stressing that because you know what, I wasn't a huge fan of Capaldi either, man. And, like he had a couple of good episodes. Again, the writing was like, but was the one with the superhero theme, that Christmas special.
Oh yeah, that he gives the thing to the kid.
Yeah. Like I thought that was.
Oh,
like, can
that
you hold
was
this?
really cute. Yeah, I like that one.
I
too.
mean, it's no Christmas
It was
sharks.
the 2-parter. Yeah.
The sharks, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, my favorite is like, that's one of the reasons that Tennant is my favorite Doctor. Just straight up drown the spider babies that were growing in the center of the earth. Just drown them.
Well, I like Tennant. Tennant was. I liked Tennant until Matt Smith came along.
Yeah, I know. Vin really loved Matt. I like Matt Smith too, but I still prefer Tennant. A little more. I think I like his.
I like
mature.
The end
But I
of
love
the
Matt Smith.
Matt
yeah,
Tennant.
the end of the
Matt
Amy
Tennant.
Pond.
Matt Tennant. Yeah.
the Amy Pond and
Yeah.
the Nestine replicant that I can't remember the name of now. Like the end of their
Yeah,
arc,
Pond was great.
the the angels, like all of the episodes leading up
Blink.
to like
Yeah.
the Statue of Liberty is a freaking weeping angel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
You just gotta roll with it. And like by the end of Tennant's run, you expect him to start shopping at Hot Topic, though, man. I mean, and I love David Tennant as an actor. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Matt Smith really grew into his character too. He got really, it was getting really, really good.
$1,200 if you're wondering for a Weeping Angel. That does not include shipping. A real one, by the way, not a
A real one,
a
yeah.
graphical artist. Technically, her dad is a sculptor.
Technically, like what? These.
I'm just saying, if that was a thing that I really, really wanted, I wouldn't spend that kind of money.
Are you saying the Weeping Angel might be a bit low res?
Even a simple image of a weeping angel is a weeping angel, so I guess it scales infinitely. Even if you have like a stamp-sized picture of a
Now
weeping
I
angel.
want a Weeping Angel with a Devo hat and a whip. I look like that, so I can call it the Whipping Angel.
The whipping angel.
Yeah. I'd have the whole band have one playing keyboard. It'd be awesome. Think my neighbors hate me now? If we get an HOA, it will be because of me.
Yeah, Ben, one of my favorite Matt Smith episode is Vincent and the Doctor. That is one of my favorite episodes of all time of Doctor Who.
You like a
Vincent Van Gogh. Yeah.
soulless
that was it.
gingers.
Yeah. That was great.
That was
And of course, Blink is just one of those beautiful stories that even someone who doesn't like Doctor Who would like. It's so well done. I've watched that episode over and over again.
like
Weeping
there's
Angels.
plenty of like really good stories, good plots, and like whatever they were trying to do recently, I think universally, like anybody who was a fan of Doctor Who was like, this isn't Doctor Who.
Yeah. This isn't Doctor Who.
Yeah, no, that's okay. It's a showcase series where there's technically time travel, but it's a showcase series. It's soap opera.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't have the Doctor Who heart.
It's exploring like scientific concepts, and
exploration.
it's like, oh, let's go to this point in time where that was actually a thing, and then you get to see the interpretation of that, and something goes awfully wrong. It's like, okay, gotta have the drama. Fair.
Yeah, no Tyrannosaurus Rexes in London. I mean,
Yeah. No great big massive rifts sucking all of the Daleks literally into the in-betweeny space between dimensions.
the
It's funny,
only
Don.
downside, I guess I should say, is geez, how many decades do you think it'll take before we get a new series, man? Because what do we have to wait, like 4 years one time? Like 3 years?
Yeah.
between? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's sigh. That's all right.
Oh gosh, and the library. The library is another one of my
Oh yeah,
favorites.
that's
Oh, that is just classic science fiction. So well done. It's one of the
That
best
was one of
science
the
fiction.
redeeming Capaldi episodes, yes.
Yes.
Capaldi.
No.
Yeah. That's
No.
how they concluded the story. No,
Well, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The Capaldi
Yeah.
episode where they actually tell how they got to that point.
That's
That
true.
was
yeah.
one of the redeeming episodes, which I think was a Christmas special.
Yeah.
Are you talking
But
the
yeah,
River
he
Song
went
one?
back.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
When he River's unconscious and he goes to book a place at the restaurant, and he actually gives the gem to the dude's like, build a restaurant right here. Then goes forward in time, goes to book a place. Oh, we only have a reservation 4 years from now. Okay. Goes into the TARDIS. There. And then he gifts her the
Yes, that was in fact an episode that referenced the library episodes.
Yeah.
That was the prequel to the library.
I will say that there's some library DLC possibly.
Yeah, there we go.
Sure,
That's a good way of looking at it.
The original intention, but I guess Russell T. Davis can only do so much.
Yeah. Matt.
Library was Tennant. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Tennant and Donna.
Dr. Donna. I love those episodes. That's one of the, I love River Song. So it's like Tennant was the introduction of those characters.
You all are all monsters. The real stars whiff.
God, bring back memories. I need to go back and watch some of those seasons. There were some episodes I kept watching over and over again, but I need to go back and see the whole season.
Hey, who turned out the lights?
Yeah. Who turned off the lights? Who turned off the lights?
Oh, that's not as good as Are You My Mummy?
That's Eccleston.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Eccleston.
Oh, Sandman. Speaking of it, Rowan Atkinson, he really wanted to be Doctor Who, and they even did a parody of it on a comedy special. I'm forgetting the name of the special. Steve Husband would remember.
Oh, yeah.
We have it. We had it on VHS, and then later got it
Hugh
on
Grant and Rowan Atkinson and
yeah. It was the comedy special, and what was it? Oh my gosh, it's been a while since I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a parody. I mean, there was a series of Professor Spacetime.
Yeah.
I don't think I know that one.
The Curse of Fatal Death. That's it. The Curse of Fatal Death.
Inspector Spacetime?
That might be it.
I remember because Doctor Who sits in the couch
yes.
of relative comfort.
Community, yes.
That was Ronan.
Yeah.
I'm in the couch of relative comfort.
That was what was her name? Amy. She was like, I want to be on Inspector Spacetime. Oh man,
Community was a good comedy show. And those season finales, for the first 3 season finales were insane. It's like, very good job. You made a very interesting television show, and you ended a season in something that wasn't a disappointment. Game of Thrones.
well, you know what? At least the Inspector Spacetime had the correct color for the police box.
Mm-hmm. I guess they had to make it legally distinct enough.
I'm just saying.
Because, yeah, no, telephone boxes over here are very much red.
Let's see.
All of the episodes where they were making fun of Chevy Chase, which was basically all of them. And then Chevy Chase had to be weird about it when everyone else is like, yeah, we get it. It's the character. And he's like, no, I don't want to play this character. All right, fine. Bye.
All right. It's coming up on 5. Pedro's gonna make some. Have you eaten yet, Pedro?
I have not. Nori has.
Nori has. What did Nori have?
Yes. Leftovers from lunch. So I'm going to have to make something for myself.
Gonna make it spicy.
Probably. I did have to buy a new bottle of sriracha, so that's a good excuse to open it.
There you go. Not drink
Yeah.
I may have a bit of a sip. I'm not opposed to that.
All right.
No, it's usually when it's been open for a while and the little tip of the nozzle starts blocking up. That's when I go.
I just imagine you like just poured it in. Unhinge your jowls.
No. It's like done. It's not blocked anymore. It's okay. I'm the only one who drinks it, uses it.
Well, see, this is what I was thinking, man. I was thinking like strategic hottening of food.
Besides the microwave?
No.
Sriracha.
With sriracha, I mean, with heat for
A spice.
Yeah, I'm just saying to make sure that your dinner doesn't turn into a sample bladder.
Kill all of the bacteria.
All right, Jill, what are you doing the rest of the day?
Oh boy. I'm gonna work some more on my room, and then Steve husband and I gotta figure out what for dinner. You guys are making me hungry, so I think I have lunch first, and then
Is it lunchtime?
it is. I gotta figure out lunch. But
Got to plan ahead, man.
Right.
Yeah, dinner is the one I spend with my husband, so yeah, I gotta plan it. Maybe Mediterranean food tonight, honey. That sounds good. We had Peruvian last night. Lomo saltado.
Hint, Steve.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Plan it.
Planet instead of plan it.
I don't know, man.
Planet food.
Eating 3 times a day. I don't even know. Ooh.
Yeah, 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That is like a weird societal thing, isn't it?
I don't know. I kind of grew up. Usually lunch was the big meal. Sometimes dinner was like, I'll just have some toast with some soup and there, done. That's dinner. But yeah, no, breakfast and lunch were meals. Like sit down, eat.
Well, I will throw down I'll give the Portuguese credit. They know that, like, dinner's not at 5 p.m.
No. Dinner is usually the earliest.
9.
Is like 7. No, other people, sane people. Usually it's like 7, 8. Usually 8 o'clock is when most people have dinner. But yeah, no, in my where I grew up with my parents, it was 10 p.m. is a good time for dinner.
Well, I'm watching the guy who's teaching me about Portugal as he's riding around. And he's like, sometimes I want to eat at 7, so I will go to the touristy areas because the touristy restaurants will open up at like 7 or 8 for dinner.
Yeah.
Most restaurants open at 8, but yeah, then you have to sit down and wait until the kitchen's actually up and running to get your food.
You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the first one in or the last one.
Yes. You always get the weird looks.
Oh, man. Yeah, I just run off liquid until the end of the day. That's how I roll, man. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to go convert all the data bits into podcasty bits and video bits, and we'll get those posted. And reminder, everyone, if you want to watch the live and uncut series, these get posted same day later today for patrons. They'll be up in the announcements tab in Discord or on the Patreon page. But last week's episodes will be on the Live and Uncut new YouTube channel, which I think we've crossed 30 subscribers on.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Now we know exactly how many people just want background noise.
It will peak at 50 because that was like the guaranteed amount of like views Live and Uncut would get. It would hit about 50, 55. So, well, we'll see, and we'll be back next
Bye,
week.
everyone. Love you all.